part two of where we left off yesterday when the Cfpb director, chief in charge, and I quote, "Transunion is out of control." I want to give a special shout out to Camille Prosperity. She is your CEO, your consumer executive officer out of Georgia, also known as chief executive officer for the Better Body Crew. Man, speaking a little bit too fast there, right? For the Better Body Crew. Ooh wee. Let's go back to the article. Cfpb charges Transunion and senior executive John DANAHER with violating law enforcement order. Transunion deployed digital dark patterns to dupe Americans into subscription plans. Let me read that again. Transunion deployed digital dark patterns to dupe Americans into subscription plans. Now, these subscription plans dealt with credit scores, credit-related products, credit monitoring, etc. Now back to the article. Today, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, is filing a lawsuit against Transunion, two of its subsidiaries, either or, and longtime executive John DANAHER for violating a 2017 law enforcement order. The order was issued to stop the company from engaging in deceptive marketing regarding its credit scores and other credit-related products. After the order went into effect, Transunion continued its unlawful behavior, disregarded the order's requirements, and continued employing deceitful digital dark patterns to profit from customers. Let me read that sentence again. The order was issued to stop the company from engaging in deceptive marketing regarding its credit scores and other credit-related products. After the order went into effect, Transunion continued its unlawful behavior, disregarded the order's requirements, and continued employing deceitful digital dark patterns to profit from customers. The Bureau's complaint also alleged that Transunion violated additional consumer financial protection laws. Ooh-wee. Transunion, y'all really out of control. Digital dark patterns. We're going to look that up a little bit later. We're going to see how the CFPB defines digital dark patterns. Now back to the article. Transunion is out of control. Repeat offender that believes it is above the law, said CFPB Director Rohit Chopra. Here's another quote. "I am concerned that the Transunion's leadership is either unwilling or incapable of operating its businesses lawfully." Now, the CFPB director is stating that he doesn't have faith and believe that they're incapable of operating lawfully. The CFPB director is saying Transunion is operating unlawful. Back to the article. Chicago-based Transunion, New York Stock Exchange, the initials of TRU, is a parent company of one of the nation's three largest credit reporting agencies. It is led by President and CEO Christopher A. Cartwright. Transunion collects consumer credit information, including borrowers' payment histories, debt loads, maximum credit limits, names and addresses of current creditors, and other elements of their credit relationships. I'm going to read that last three sentences again. Transunion collects consumer credit information, including borrowers' payment histories, debt loads, maximum credit limits, names and addresses of current creditors, and other elements of their credit relationships. TransUnion collects information on 200 million individuals, and the company claims to profile nearly every credit active consumer in the United States. TransUnion reported $3 billion in revenue for 2021. Let me read that again. TransUnion collects information on 200 million individuals, and the company claims to profile nearly every credit active consumer in the United States. TransUnion reported $3 billion in revenue for the year 2021. I mean, that's just amazing. Through its subsidiary or subsidiary. Yeah, I don't know English words for me. English is still, a creative challenge. Through its subsidiary or through its subsidiary. Oh man, neither one. TransUnion Interactive. The company also markets, sells, and provides credit-related products directly to the public, such as credit scores, credit reports, and credit monitoring. Let me read that again. Through its subsidiary, TransUnion Interactive, the company also markets, sells, and provides credit-related products directly to the public, such as credit scores, credit reports, and credit monitoring. Credit reporting agencies are entrusted with generating accurate credit reports to help banks and other lenders determine an applicant's credit worthiness. However, based on the nearly 150,000 plus consumer complaints about TransUnion that the Bureau received, and they're talking about the Cfpb, in 2021 alone, TransUnion has struggled to maintain that trust. Let me read that sentence again. However, based on the nearly 150,000 consumer complaints about TransUnion that the Bureau received in 2021 alone, TransUnion has struggled to maintain that trust. Now let's check out and go back to the 2017 law enforcement order. This sets the tone to why the Cfpb current director, Rohit Chopra, and I quote, TransUnion is out of control. (2017) Law Enforcement Order. On January 3rd, 2017, the Cfpb settled charges with TransUnion and its subsidiaries for deceptively marketing credit scores and credit-related products, including credit monitoring services. As part of the settlement, TransUnion agreed to pay $13.9 million, and that's a milli, in restitution to the victims and $3 million in civil penalties. TransUnion and its subsidiaries also agreed to a formal law enforcement order that, among other things, required the credit reporting giant to warn consumers that lenders are not likely to use their credit scores they are supplying, obtaining the express informed consent of customers for recurring payments for subscription products or services, and provides an easy way for people to cancel subscriptions. The order was binding on the company, its board of directors, and its executive officers. In October 2018, the Cfpb commenced an examination of TransUnion. In October 2018, the Cfpb commenced an examination of TransUnion. In May 2019, the Cfpb examiners informed TransUnion that it was violating multiple requirements of the order. In these instances, companies typically work constructively with the Cfpb to make quick fixes and to come into compliance. However, in June 22, the Cfpb informed TransUnion that it was still violating the order and engaged in additional violations of the law. Now, here's that term. Let's all take note of this. Digital dark patterns. The Cfpb is about to give a breakdown on this. Digital dark patterns are hidden tricks or trapdoors companies build into their websites to get consumers to inadvertently click links, sign up for subscriptions, or purchase products or services. Dark patterns can complicate or hide information, such as making it difficult for consumers to cancel a subscription service. As alleged in the complaint, Transunion used an array of dark patterns to trick people into recurring payments and to make it difficult to cancel them. For example, under federal law, Americans are entitled to a free credit report from Transunion through annualcreditreport.com. Transunion asks consumers to provide their credit card information that appeared to be part of an identity verification process. Transunion then integrated deceptive buttons into the online interface that gave the impression that the consumer could access a free credit score in addition to viewing their free credit report. In reality, clicking this button signed consumers up for recurring monthly charges using the credit card information they had provided. Ooh-wee. Those digital dark patterns. The only indication in the enrollment process that consumers were making some sort of purchase was through a fine print, low contrast disclosure located off to the side of the enrollment form. The disclosure is inside an image that can take up to 30 seconds or longer to load than the rest of the material in the form. The dark pattern triggered thousands of complaints. For consumers looking for a way out of their subscriptions, Transunion not only failed to offer a simple mechanism for cancellation, it actively made it arduous for consumers to cancel through clever uses of font and color on its website. John DANAHER. Since 2004, John DANAHER served as top executive of Transunion Interactive. Transunion unit that sold products and services directly to consumers that contributes roughly 18% of TransUnion's overall revenue. According to the filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission, since 2016, DANAHER received over $10 million from the sale of the TransUnion stock shares that were acquired by him as part of his compensation package. Let me read that again. John DANAHER. Since 2004, John T. DANAHER served as top executive for Transunion Interactive, TransUnion unit that sold products and services directly to consumers and contributes roughly 18% of TransUnion overall revenue. According to filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission since 2016, DANAHER received over $10 million from the sale of TransUnion stock shares that were required by him as part of his compensation package. DANAHER was bound by the 2017 order, but he repeatedly failed to ensure that TransUnion took certain required steps and refrained from prohibited conduct. In fact, DANAHER determined that complying with the order would reduce the company's revenue, so he created a plan to delay or having to implement the order. It's a cold game, and they playing out here for real, for real. All of our information has value on it. Of course, it's monetized, and they making millions and billions of dollars. Some of these companies, not only annually, but globally. Among other things, DANAHER determined that using an affirmative selection checkbox required by the order to limit unintended subscription enrollments will result in fewer enrollments into TransUnion credit monitoring service. DANAHER instructed TransUnion Interactive to cease using the checkbox, which led to millions of enrollment. DANAHER recently separated from TransUnion. Now look at that. Today's enforcement action. Repeat offender. Law enforcement is a top priority for the Cfpb. The CFPB is filing a lawsuit in federal court charging Transunion and John Donner with multiple violations of law. Specifically, the Bureau alleges. Let me read that again. Specifically, the Bureau lawsuit alleges that Transunion and John Donner flouted a formal law enforcement order, or floated. Transunion and John Donner floated a former law enforcement order. Transunion and John Donner. Now let me go ahead and do a quick dictionary.com check. Let me make sure I get this right, you guys. Yeah, pardon me for a few seconds. Let's get this word right. Flout. So flouted.
Flout.
All right. So we're gonna always reference dictionary.com when we're not sure of the pronunciation. Transunion and John Donner flouted. Because this has an ED on it. A formal law enforcement order. Transunion and John Donner flouted the terms of the CFPB's 2017 order. Rather than comply with the terms, the company continued to engage in deceptive conduct in its marketing and sale of credit-related products. It failed to provide required disclosures to make its marketing not misleading, and it failed to assemble and review consumer information and implement appropriate improvements to advertisements. Donner's action also make him liable under the law. Transunion deceived customers through digital dark patterns. There's that word again, digital dark patterns. For its subscription products, Transunion relied on digital dark patterns from the beginning to the end of Transunion customer experience. Transunion cheated customers through the marketing and sale of its credit-related products. Transunion misrepresented numerous aspects of its product, services, and subscription plans, including that its credit monitoring service was a standalone credit score or credit report. Let me read that again. Transunion cheated customers through its marketing and sale of its credit-related services. Transunion misrepresented numerous aspects of its product, services, and subscription plans, including that its credit monitoring service was a standalone credit score or credit report. Under the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform Act and the Consumer Protection Act, the CFPB has authority to take action against institutions violating consumer financial laws, including engaging in deceptive or practices or violating the Electronic Fund Transfer Act, which establishes a basic framework of the rights, liabilities, and responsibilities as to electric fund transfers. Today's lawsuit alleges that Transunion violated the Consumer Financial Protection Act of 2010 by failing to implement requirements of the Bureau's 2017 order and by engaging in deceptive acts and practices. The CFPB also alleges that Transunion violated regulation. If I remember correct, under the Roman numeral, V is a 5. I believe V represents 5. Regulation 5, which implements the Fair Credit Reporting Act and the Electronic Fund Transfer Act. Give me a second, you guys. Let me make sure that Roman numeral V means 5. Yes, it does. There's nothing wrong with double checking, triple checking, or quadruple checking, your reference or your source in regards to your pronunciation or your breakdown of something. The CFPB also alleges, as a quick side note, the CFPB also alleges the Transunion violated Regulation 5, or Roman numeral, what looks like a V, which implements the Fair Credit Reporting Act and the Electronic Fund Transfer Act. The CFPB is seeking monetary relief for customers such as restitution or the return of funds, disgorgement, or compensation for unjust gains, injunctive relief, and civil money penalties. The complaint is not a final finding or ruling that the defendants have violated the law. Individuals, including current or former employees with information related to any misconduct by Transunion, can report it to the CFPB by emailing whistleblower at cfpb.gov, or calling the whistleblower tip line 855-695-7974. Learn more about being a whistleblower here. Wow. We're gonna come back to this with part 3, and we're gonna learn more about what is a whistleblower for the CFPB. We're gonna actually read the 2017 order with Transunion, and we're also going to read the current lawsuit that the CFPB has against Transunion. Until then, I am your brother Surrealism, a prism of realism, and this is Surreal Stream TV. I am one of your consumer protection law advocates out here. Again, I am a consumer protection law advocate. Look forward to part 3 coming very soon. Thank you for your time and attention. And again, Kimberly Prosperity. She is your consumer executive officer or CEO for the Better Body Crew out of Atlanta. Camille, let's get a millie. Ooh-wee. I'm out. See you next time, you guys. Hope you enjoyed the breakdown of these article on the CFPB's website, and I will be coming to you in the near future with more up-to-dates regarding Transunion. Talk to you soon. I'm out of here. See ya. Wouldn't want to be here.